tie classic copper john in a tactical jig in green, which works great in the White River system in Arkansas. Here are the materials for this fly, and the difference between this and the easier one is I use turkey biotes, and I also use turkey hurl, and I'm using the grizzly feather, which is smaller. Add the base like usual. We're using the green thread because we're using green wire this time. Run the thread down the back, wrap the tag around the thread, and then keep wrapping the thread toward the back of the hook. And we'll stop about the point, or maybe a little behind the point. We'll clip the tag. After clipping the tag off, we're going to continue wrapping it backwards past the point. We're going to go up and back a couple of times, and now we're going to tie the one side of the biote tail on. Notice we're going to lay it at an angle. I'm going to loop it around, and then I'm going to loop the thread around the back and under the biote, which will cause it to lift up. Okay, now I'm going to lay the other biote down, but just for the sake of teaching, I'm not going to loop the line behind it like the other one, and then you can notice what happens. It'll lay down more. So that shows you the reason why we want to run that line behind the biote to cause it to lift up and give it that classic copper john look. There's nothing wrong with it laying down. It's just a technique you can use on other flies as well. Now lay the green wire on top. We'll loop it down. I'm keeping the body fairly even, similar to a root beer midge size, but you can also make it go from smaller to larger at the front if you want, just a little bit, but we got to be careful we don't put too much material on, because we still got to get the hurl on there. Next, we wrap the wire around the fly, wrap it tightly. You know, one piece of wire tightly beside the other one. We'll loop it all the way up till there's about 1/8 of an inch gap between the wire and the head of the fly, and we'll have that gap so that we can tie the hurl on and have it secure nicely. You can either use a hurl clip to do this, or you'll see in a minute I take it off, and then we'll use I use my fingers to continue wrapping it and pinch it down as I go. Times, and we'll stop. Okay, now we're gonna shorten the thread a little bit to get the slack out, and now run the thread back a little bit and then loop it around the tag so they'll secure it. Cut the tag, then we'll pinch it down, make it look nice and smooth. And then we'll continue tying the thread on with a whip knot, because we're going to change from green to black. Now clip the tag. Then get your black thread and then start looping it on using the base approach. Be sure and wrap that tag around your thread so it'll grip. Clip the black thread tag tightly. Okay, now what I'm doing is I got the tinsel out, and we're going to lay the tinsel on top. And this is the green holographic, which I found the holographic works great. You can buy it from Orvis. Okay, now we're going to lay The grizzly feathers, about 3 or 4 of them, at an angle on the top. We'll cinch it down a couple of times. Then we'll do the same on the other side at an angle. We'll loop it around the end or the base of the feather. We'll wrap it around a few times. And now we'll secure the herl, which is going to be the thorax. This is also one of the more classic Copper John looks. On the other fly, I didn't use the herl to make it a little bit easier. We'll wrap it around a few times, then we'll secure it with the black thread. Then I'm going to secure it again because it does tend to come loose, as you can see there. So now I'm going to wrap it around some more, then put some more thread on there to hold it down. There we go. I'm going to take the slack out of the thread. Now we're going to snip the herl, the excess or the tag. Now I'm going to use my finger to pinch down the tinsel, and then we're going to cinch it down with the thread right behind the head and snip the tinsel and trim off a few little extra pieces of the feather there. Make it look right. Straighten out the herl or the bout. Now we're going to finish it off with our whip knot. Remember, keep tension on there so it doesn't get loose. Pull it tight, but don't break the thread. Now trim the thread or the tag of the thread. Trim it tightly without cutting your feathers. Continue trimming and cleaning it up, just to make everything look evenly and to get some of the excess pieces off. Finally, I'm going to put a drop of UV epoxy, just a small, of the flow thickness epoxy, right behind the head to hold that herl in place, because the herl comes off real easy and it breaks easily. So we're going to run the light around it about 12 seconds to harden it, and that'll add longevity to the fly. So there you go. That's how you tie classic Copper John in green and a tactical jig.